Good afternoon, students. This video is going to help you complete the Lionfish graphing activity that's been posted to Google Classroom. It's a one-slide assignment that should not take you very long to complete. I'm going to kind of walk you through the steps that you should take in order to complete the assignment as best you can. In this assignment, we are going to be observing and answering the question, how are lionfish affecting populations of native species on artificial reefs in Pensacola? Now, let me break that down for you. As of now, we should have a good understanding of what an invasive species is. We know some examples of Florida invasive species, and we also know a little bit about the lionfish, particularly as it relates to this general characteristics and what they're doing to our local ecosystems here in Pensacola. Now, in this assignment, we're going to be seeing how lionfish are affecting native species. Now, that word native species is the opposite of an invasive species, is a native species. These are different organisms, different species that should be here in Pensacola, right? Where they are native to this area, you will find them in the waters off of Pensacola, right? Now, artificial reefs, that is essentially uh, reefs, okay, or structure that humans have placed off of the beaches of Pensacola in order to create a ecosystem and a habitat for all sorts of marine organisms, okay? And you've seen some videos, I imagine, of artificial reefs. If not, I can show you one, or I'll attach one to this assignment. There's a really good one on YouTube where it's showing a spear fisherman collect and kill a bunch of lionfish on an airplane. So, I mean, there's a bunch of really cool artificial reefs off of our beaches, and we even have the largest artificial reef in the entire world, 20 miles off the coast of Pensacola, which is the USS Oriskany. And that is actually an old aircraft carrier that's sunk in about 300 feet of water um, off of the coast. And you can go dive it. It's extremely deep. But this is an example of an artificial reef. It's shipwrecks, but there's also other types of reefs as well off of our beaches. And these reefs are habitats for native populations of different fish and different crustaceans, crabs, echinoderms, that sort of thing. So what you need to do here, first off, is you're going to click on the question, and that question, once you click on it, it should send you to a link that looks like this. Okay, and that is a Google Sheet. And for those of you who've never used Google Sheets, it's essentially a way to input data easily. And I want us to look at this because this is what we're getting ready to graph. So um, for this assignment, we are looking at the population of lionfish on artificial reefs here in Pensacola and what it's doing to the population of native species on those same reefs. This is actual data collected by scientists here in Pensacola, where they have gone out on one specific reef for 10 consecutive years and have collected data on the populations of both lionfish and other native species. And what you get is some data here. And what I'd like you to do is click and drag, okay, to highlight all sections of the Google Sheet. Now, once you've done that, you're going to come to Insert and click on Chart. That chart will pull up your graph. So it's an easy way to make a graph, and there is your graph, okay? Now, how to get this graph onto your Google slide here, okay? You are going to click on the graph and click Control C, which will copy that graph, and then come back to your slide and click Control V. Now, this will pop up. You're just going to want to paste unlinked, and then there's your graph, okay? Change the size of it so that it fits in here. Okay, boom, there you go. Okay, we've done step one, essentially. Now we have to look at the graph, okay? So what is this graph showing us? This graph is showing us, again, the population of native species here in red and the population of lionfish in blue over a 10-year period. So the data here that was collected was from 2010 to 2020 on one particular reef. And you can see here, based on this data, that some things happened over the span of the last 20 years. So what did happen to the population of native species on that reef? And what happened to the population of lionfish on that reef? Once you've kind of analyzed this graph, you're going to answer question 1 down here where it says, again, explain what is happening based on your graph here. Okay, so give me a sentence or two using the graph as your evidence to answer that question. Okay, once you've done that, the last part of this assignment will be to pull up this document that's over on the left-hand side. Okay, and you can expand that so you can read it a little bit easier. All right, but it talks about 5 things that scientists are currently doing to try and combat the problem that we are having with invasive lionfish. There are 5 things. Okay, out of those 5 suggestions, okay, that have been made by scientists, what suggestion do you think is the most effective? Which one do you think is the best, and explain why? That would be the final question that I'm asking you to answer on this assignment. Once you've completed your graph and answered those 2 questions, please submit it to Google Classroom on time. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you need extra help, please email me, or during class, if you need help, you can raise your hand and I can come help you. But this video is meant for me to be able to teach one-on-one to all the students. And again, you can rewind me, pause me, okay, if you need to do that. So if there, so once you get it done, like I said, turn it in, and I hope this helped you.